happens next is not my fault.
Oh my God.
We have a brand new game.
I was trying to contain myself. Oh my.
Go option one, not safe. These are insane.
And Brandon keep killing it.
What's good, Creative Fam? Brandon Washington here, and welcome back to another episode of Uncensored. You know, I really love this time of year because I feel like post NAB, the companies are starting to fight. Like, this is probably like the best time of the year to be a videographer, filmmaker, content creator, whatever, because it feels like we are in the thick of it. And I can't be more excited about it. As you guys know, today we got a lot to talk about. Canon, who seemingly did nothing at NAB, has decided to come back and reflect and start sprinkling some nuggets out there that, no, we're not out of the game yet. We still got some more stuff to talk about. Also, we also have to look at some of the rumors, some of the stuff that Canon hasn't officially dropped, but we do see on the horizon. And then, of course, I want to talk about the future of gear. I mean, I want to know where it's going. What does Nikon got coming? What does Sony have coming up? Because we know Sony's going to drop at least 50 cameras this year. It's going to be a wild 2024. But I'm also really excited to say that today, for the first time ever, we actually have a sponsor for the live stream. And I am super excited to tell you guys about today's video sponsor. Check this out. Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. It is a website that helps you build a website. They make it incredibly easy by giving you pre-made templates that make the entire design process super simple. This means if you want to launch a website pretty quickly, Squarespace is the way to do it. On top of making the design part incredibly easy, they also have added in Squarespace AI, which will actually help you through the entire process, including SEO, to make sure that it's easy for your potential viewers to find your website. One of my favorite built-in features is actually the email marketing campaign. This means you can do everything you need from directly inside of Squarespace, and when you're ready to check out, they have an incredibly flexible payment process. Now, I actually built my entire website using Squarespace, and I am not a coder, never have learned coding. And so that's one of the best parts, is that if you are someone who wants to get your business up off the ground, start your new endeavor, sell products, whatever it might be, and you need a website in order to do that, honestly, the easiest way to do it for me has been with Squarespace, which is why I've had my website with them for years. And if you're still not sure about giving Squarespace a shot, you can definitely sign up for a free trial and build your website now. And when you're ready to launch, you can save 10% by using my link down below in the description. That's squarespace.com/Brandon Washington. And thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. All right, so as you guys know, I don't do this show by myself. I have my amazing co-host with me today, Mr. Jarrell Peak.
What's up, everybody?
Yo, you got to be happy.
Super happy.
Look, last week, I have never seen you so defensive to the chat. You were fighting on Canon's behalf the whole...
All this Canon hate.
I don't think we have Canon hate. I think we just have Canon reservations.
Well, we're gonna see in the chat because I just dropped a poll.
Okay.
And it's looking a little.
What's the poll?
The poll is: do the Canon rumors and news get you excited? Yes, no. I jumped ship a long time ago.
What's our current playback?
Oh, it's 100% right now.
100%.
100% excited.
100% excited. How many votes?
I'm just kidding. It was 100% for like 1 second. We're positive. We're real positive. It's 56%.
Excited? Okay.
39% no.
Okay.
6% I jumped ship a long time ago.
I need to go vote.
If you're gonna vote, I'm gonna vote.
We'll just offset each other's votes. But what's good? Let's check out what are people saying right now in the chat. What are you guys thinking? Are you guys excited about all this Canon news? Yes, no, maybe
look
so.
Look at this from Michael. I think currently the RF and Z mount are about neck and neck in respectable lenses.
You know what? I'm gonna disagree, and not in the way that I think most people are gonna think. As you guys know, I do love my Nikons, but when it comes to lenses, I feel like Nikon lenses are just so big. Like Have you shot with the Nikon 85? I just don't understand why a mirrorless lens has to be that big.
Wah, wah,
So
wah. Hot take.
I really do feel like the Canon mount, the RF mount, it is something special. But the Z lenses, they're so big. And I'm just like, man, hopefully Nikon can continue to upgrade their lenses. And it's like, you guys know this is uncensored. So I just tell you how I really feel. And I really hope that those lenses get a little bit better, or we figure out a way to make, and this is what's so interesting about the Nikon mount. The Nikon mount actually, with the right adapter, can actually mount on Sony lenses.
Mm.
So as I'm saying this out loud, and I'm again uncensored, this is all coming off the dome. Maybe if the Nikon mount becomes the mount that is the most universally usable, like you can put Sony lenses on there. I don't know if you can actually ever put RF mount lenses on there, but if there's a way to make that one more, universal, anything can swap to it, that would be really awesome. But as of right now, I personally think that Canon's RF mount might have a little edge to it. And it actually has a lot to do with the new news. Did you see the new news?
I did see the new news.
How's that make you feel?
I think here's the tough part, right? Because as I'm a realistic, I don't even want to say fanboy, but I'm a realistic Canon fanboy in the sense that news be dropping all the time about Canon that just be making you feel like, oh, this is going to be so dope if it trickles down into other cameras, or when it happens, because Canon moves very, very slow.
I think they would call it methodically.
Yes. We were talking about this before, but it kind of feels like Apple, never first to the party, but when they show up, hopefully it's a banger.
Hopefully
it's a banger.
I thought you were gonna be like, it's a banger. It's not. Sometimes it's not. The one thing that I am the most excited about, the news that did come out, was that Canon has officially opened up their RF mount, sorta.
Yeah, to a few people.
Well, and for a few cameras.
Yeah.
They've opened up their RF mount to some third parties. And this is the place where I thought Canon missed the mark so early on. Like, it took them too long to get here.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing that makes Sony so obtainable, one, is they have a bajillion cameras.
Yeah.
At like every $50 price point, it feels like, right? Like, oh, you got 50 more bucks, buy this one. You got 50 more bucks, buy this one.
Yeah.
But they also had Sigma for lenses. They had Tamron for lenses. And then when they first came out, a lot of people, myself included, were adapting Canon EF lenses to them using like a Metabone speed booster or something like that. And so the benefit of switching to Sony was you had a ton of lenses to choose from, and you didn't have to invest a whole lot out of the gate just to get started. And that's one thing that now Canon has sort of opened up, is the fact that with Sigma, and then I think there's like one lens with Tamron.
Yeah.
That you can now put these Sigma and Tamron lenses on your Canon cameras using the RF mount. But the downside is it's only cropped lenses. And they only work on crop sensors. So like your R7.
We're slow moving.
Yeah. Hey, look, methodical.
Slow moving.
So
it feels like kind of and who knows, but it kind of felt like a little anti-Canon, because I feel like when we're talking about the DSLR days, the Rokinons, the Tamrons, the Sigma, like all those lenses, like I have some non-Canon lenses. And then when they dropped, because I feel like there was a time where people developed RF glass, and they're kind of like rare. Like when the RF first dropped, the mount first dropped, some people made some stuff, and then all of a sudden, would they start suing people?
I don't know if anything photography based came out, but I think it was mostly like a lot of cinema lenses had came out, which I thought that was really smart, because like the RF mount clearly was something that was a hit out of the gate.
Yeah.
Like, let's face it, like Red obviously adopted the RF mount onto their camera, which ultimately then got bought by Nikon. So they got to sort that out one way or another.
I love this comment.
What is it? It's definitely that. And Sony,
because that makes me feel like Canon Superior. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
It's not. Perception.
I was gonna say, Apple's probably had better days right now, getting sued left and right, and let's not talk about Vision Pro. So we'll keep it pushing. But the truth is, I feel like with the RF mount, like obviously Canon put it on their C70, which was like their first cinema camera to have that. They obviously put on all their R cameras, the R5, R5C, R6. R7 and R8 now, even in R10, I think they have. So like we have the RF on those, and then obviously, like I said, Red has it. And so I think that by seeing it get adopted in the cinema world, like by a company like Red putting it on the original OG Komodo and then keeping it on the Raptor and then the X, a lot of cinema lens companies like your Irixes, a lot of your like Blazar even has a set, like they're mounting RF onto cinema lenses. But photography, I think, is where the pullback was, because Canon was like, no pin connections. You know what I mean? Like you can't make a lens that works via autofocus and that, works within our technology, which was kind of a weird move. Now, granted, Canon has dropped amazing lenses. Like, and I can understand why they were like, let us get our stuff out first, because no one's made lenses like they've been making lenses. But at the same time, I think it slowed down adoption from other shooters.
You know what's crazy? Like in chat, don't roast me.
Roast them.
Don't roast me.
Roast them.
I feel like I understand where the photo video world, I understand the outrage, but I don't I never fully grasped why people were so mad. Like it felt like people were like, I'm leaving Canon forever. Like they just did something personally to me. And I feel that, like, I do get that by charging for the RF lenses what they charge, especially on the higher end, and not giving options for other lenses. But it's just always like anything. Like if you come upon a YouTube channel and you don't like their content, go to another YouTube channel.
I think that's what happened. I think that's why Sony's so big right now, because people didn't like what Canon was doing. But that's what I'm saying.
I don't understand the outrage. Like there was like, you took my firstborn, and it's just like, just keep it moving. If you don't like it, then like,
I think it's more of a buying into a system. Like I tell most people, like I get the question in my DMs on a constant basis, what's the best camera I should buy? And they're like, it's normally like the big three: Canon, Nikon, Sony, right?
Now it's just big me.
But like it's normally like, I'm like, okay, well, depends, budget, blah blah blah. Do you want to go cinema? Like there's so many follow-up questions, which is honestly one of the reasons why I don't like that question, because there's too many follow-up questions that can lead you down the wrong rabbit hole. But what I find is that most people, they try to pick a ecosystem. And they want to live in that ecosystem, but they also are kind of like buying into not just what the ecosystem is today, but they're buying into what that ecosystem is going to become. And they want to make sure that their investment in that ecosystem is going to keep them ahead of the competition. Because let's face it, like, yes, you are buying, let's say you buy an R5 right now. You get really good with that camera. You like that camera. You've got lenses for that camera. But Sony's coming out with new stuff. Nikon's acquiring everybody and their mama. Like there's all these different moves happening, and you're stuck in your ecosystem saying, gosh, it would be real nice if we got something, because you understand that to switch ecosystems means not only are you selling off your camera, but you got to sell off all your lenses, and then there's like a learning curve. So I feel like that's where some of the heat comes from. As like someone like myself who was primarily Canon, like Canon DSLR days, Canon all day. Never even really, like, I'm not one of those people like, my first camera was a Nikon. Like, no, it wasn't. Like my first, like, I started with Canon because Canon focused on video in the actual DSLR days. I felt that pain that you were talking about, where it was like, okay, everybody's getting cool mirrorless cameras, and we got a 90D. Like, why are we getting more DSLRs at this point? You know what I mean,
Brandon? And you just gotta like drink the water. Drink the water.
There was
like
no
it's Coke,
water.
like
That
it's
was my
Coke.
problem.
You got to drink the water and just imagine it's Coca-Cola.
Dude, there was no water. There were no mirrorless cameras. And then when they did give us a mirrorless camera,
That M50.
it was the R. And I was just like, yo, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I feel the pain of the people, but at the same time, it's like,
this is very reminiscent of the Apple discussion of like their antitrust deal and like people just being mad that they've made a really large walled garden. And I do get it. I'm just like, it's like tough for me because I feel like with Canon, maybe it was because I just believe that the 1DX was just better than the original mirrorlesses that they came out with, the R and the RP. That I just kind of felt like I'm not clamoring to jump to mirrorless, but once I finally did jump to mirrorless, I realized it was far superior. So like I didn't have that same growing I didn't have that same growing pain. I had that like elitist pain.
Well, speaking
like
of
my
pain,
camera's better than yours.
Scott says Canon's moving pretty slow these days. Maybe they should take some Advil.
Hey, I'm glad that you're on here, Scott, because Canon has some exciting rumors.
We're going to get to the rumors in just a second. Kevin says, after I bought my C300 Mark I, I really expected Canon to continue the rise in the cinema field. And I think that's it. I think
they're going to. Don't lose hope.
We're going
Don't lose hope.
The problem is like, how patient are we supposed to be? Especially when you see other people moving. You know what I mean? Like, that is one of the things, like, it just makes it tough to stay a fan. I'm not saying it's impossible, but like it's tough when like it's almost like when you're sitting in traffic and your lane's not moving and all the other lanes are moving past you and you're like, I know we're all going in the same direction and we're probably all going to get there roughly about the same time, but it just feels real bad when I'm sitting still and everybody else is moving past me.
This is what you can cling to, my Canon people.
What do you got?
Well, the poll, number one, you can cling to that 51% of the people on here are excited. But the second thing you can cling to is you can cling on to that RF glass. Okay. I know that we've been talking about there's more people coming to the party, but if you shoot RF glass, it's incredible.
It is.
Undebated. You can also cling to autofocus in the R6, R3.
Okay.
Good. It's good. R6 Mark II. Real good. Like, I don't know that I would say better than Sony, but I would say real good. You can cling to those things. And the Canon cripple, where they cripple their lower cameras and then take features out of them, I feel like that's less now. Like, so for instance,
I don't think they can anymore.
Yes. We're getting C-Log, we're getting waveforms, we're getting, I just feel like they're giving stuff to their lower end cameras that we can all be excited about. So stop thinking about all the other stuff.
Well, hold on. Because you made me just think about something else.
What they have given you.
So what's the poll again?
The cripple.
What's the poll again?
51% of these people on here, 54% of these people on here are excited.
Yeah. So here's my thing. I think you did what Canon does, and that is they shift your attention. Because I know exactly what you did. See, you split the poll into three options.
I'm gonna change your mind.
You split the poll into three options. You have excited in one. And then you split the other two.
Oh, no. I mean, I didn't do it on purpose. But that's still less than the 50. Like, if it was like 30, 30, and 30, then we would be over. But like right now, we're at 54% yes. So that means we're the majority. No is 27%. And then 19%. I jumped ship a long time ago.
I will say that even though I did technically jump ship a long time ago, I'm still excited.
Mm-hmm.
So I might click. I did jump ship a long time ago. No, actually, ironically, I actually still have some Canon cameras sitting around here. They're floating.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, like, because I think that you'll relate to me on this point. Recently, a lot of camera companies and whoever have released all of these features that they're cool, that they're amazing, that they're blah, blah, blah on a spec sheet. But when you get on a job, there's only a few things that are actually important to me, and I think also to you. And so for me, while Canon might not be busting down the doors on technology, do you have 4K? Are you shooting? Do you have a 23-976? Can I shoot it in log? And like, what does that color science look like? If I had to put it in 4 things that were important to me, those are the top 4 things. I don't care about no 6K. I don't care about no 8K. I don't care about no raw because I ain't got no place for raw. I don't care about. If I was back in wedding days, I would care about ISO, but I'm not in wedding days anymore. So I'm lighting everything. So I don't need nothing higher than 800 unless you're
I think we're getting
running gun.
No,
I'm just saying, like, all of those things, like, what's the most, if you had to pick 4 things that are important to you in a camera, what are they?
Ooh. So for me, it's codec, number 1.
Mhm.
What codec am I shooting in? Because and the versatility of codec.
Mhm.
That's something that screams to me in a camera. Like one of my favorite cameras I ever shot on was the 1DX Mark II,
Mhm.
but it shot in motion JPEG.
Huge.
Codec was ridiculous.
Huge. And choked your computer
and
out.
just impossible. Like impossible in storage in every way. So I learned then, okay, I need to pay attention to what codecs I'm getting.
Mhm.
And personally, I like raw codecs. You know, so if I have raw, internal raw, don't give me that external stuff. If it's external, it doesn't even count as far as I'm concerned, because I'm not running around with an Atomos every single day. I'm just not going to do it. It's another thing for me to forget to charge. So codecs is number 1 for me.
Okay.
Image quality
Yeah.
and usability is huge.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want just like 8K for the sake of 8K. I really actually don't even care about 8K. Give me like 4.6K or 6K is good.
Yeah.
But don't give me no noisy footage mess. Like I don't want that mess noisy. You know what I mean? Like it's gotta be clean. And you're laughing because you know what I'm talking about. It's gotta be clean.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna say that I need the ergonomics of the camera, the usability of the camera to be simplified.
Okay.
Because I want to be able to pick that thing up and go. Right. And so whether that is like my Raptor or my Komodo touchscreen, super easy to navigate through, or Canons and Nikons, they now actually have like mappable programmable buttons in the front that allow you to switch back and forth between things. That's a big one for me. And then I think the last one has recently just become the most its versatility of the actual camera itself. I don't necessarily want, and this is just because of what I'm shooting.
Yeah.
I don't want a camera that can just do one thing really, really well. Like I'm not going to buy that camera. I'll rent that camera.
Yeah.
But give me a camera that's incredibly versatile, which is why I run to like the Komodo X, because it's a small package camera that can be a small package camera. I can also build it out and use it on a big set. Heck, I know this is dumb, but I could technically vlog with it, you know, if I wanted to just do like some YouTube stuff. It's got SDI out. I can live stream with it. I can do just about anything with that camera except take photos. And the same thing happens on my mirrorless side of cameras. Is I want something that can do amazing photography and amazing video in one, like versatility. So if I had to break down those 4 things that I need, that's where they all sit, which puts a lot of cameras in that space. So then it just becomes which one is the best at those 4 things.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like, I feel like to me, while there might be a lot of things that people are missing out on with Canon because of how slow they move, have they taken care of the basics? The things that the working man and like Rhonda, the working woman with that R6 Mark II, I see you, Rhonda. Have they taken care of the basics? Because honestly, I'm not shooting 4K 120. Like those days are gone. Well, they never happened for me because I had the 1DX.
Dude, lose audio.
Yeah, seriously. But like, I don't care about that. There's so many things that I'm just like, I just don't know if it's like innovations that other people are putting in their cameras. And like, I don't know if it's time for, actually, it's not time. We got to save that for the game.
Well, look, I'm going to ask the chat. I want to know, chat, everybody put one thing and we're going to go through it in the chat. What is the number one thing that is the most important to you that has to be in a camera? or else it's a deal breaker.
A sensor. Don't send me no sensorless camera.
This is uncensored, yo. Yeah. We only shoot with sensorless cameras. That's the next stage.
Dude, I feel like that's so wait. What he just put up.
That is the next deal. AI camera. Yeah. They just interpret what you see. There's no sensor.
Prompt. No
prompt needed. It just can. I guess it would need a sensor for that. But yeah, just fully prompted out cameras.
Oh, Scott, a raw codec.
Dude, number one. I'm not too far off from you, Scott. I think I kind of agree with you. I like that. Peaking. Okay.
The clients.
The clients.
Give me the clients.
I love it. What's the next one?
Easy menu.
Well, there goes Nikon and Sony.
He didn't say Canon.
I didn't.
Canon,
their menus are starting to get clunky.
They are.
They're not terrible, but they're getting clunky.
Especially the cinema ones.
The cinema one is
it's a little.
There's a lot.
You have to learn it.
Yeah.
You have to learn it.
It's like the one you actually need to read the manual on.
Usable
then. I love how you said usable, all caps.
Yes.
Because
not the purported 21 stops.
Yeah. Don't give me a spec sheet dynamic range. Let me see what's the real deal.
Oh, compatibility with industry standard accessories.
That's a big one. That's a good one. R50.
Back in the day, the 51.8. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Active cooling system.
Okay. So I got a question for you. So
did you buy the R5?
If you get a dope camera, but it's like, for me, overheating is one of those immediate, it's a turn off camera. I can't do it.
Oh yeah.
If it overheats or has bad battery, bad battery, I can try to make work, but an overheating camera, yo, get out of my face.
Especially if it's like shut me off for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Well,
even then, even if it's like I know this happened with the R6 Mark I and definitely with the R5, where the timer at the top, you just see it start counting down. It's telling you hey, I'm about to overheat.
Anxiety.
Hey, I'm about to overheat. I can't even create anymore because now I'm dealing with the anxiety. It's what's the next shot? I don't know, but we got to get it quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm missing angles and stuff because I'm my camera's about to shut off on me. It's like a time bomb. I don't want that pressure on set.
Alrighty. So, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but he said, what's the Canon news? So the Canon news that we're going to cover today is they've opened up the RF mount, which we just were talking about. So definitely go and check that back out. But there's been also some new developments that are really exciting.
Yeah. So I wanted to pull this up because I don't obviously this is not coming from us. We have no insider information.
I was like, Brandon got graphics?
No, I ain't got no graphics. No, I just wanted to pull this up. So this is what was reported on Canon Rumors, which has been they've hit quite a few times.
Oh yeah. Well, and we're to the point where it's not necessarily a rumor anymore. It's a certain things have actually been filed with the FCC or the ACC or whatever they are. Yeah.
So what we're looking at now is we have 2 EOS R cameras, and just the other day, April 19th, they actually filed for their second, which I was actually surprised by, their second cinema camera.
There was so much hate last week.
Look, it wasn't hate, it was skepticism.
So much skepticism. Hate. There are 4 brand new Canon cameras that are going to be dropped really soon, because by the time they have to,
that is the most you got. I was man, you're getting really specific. What do you know that I don't know?
Seriously. Well, by the time they do their FCC filings, it's they're really close, because they have to register it with the government. I'm talking like I know, but they got to register with the government before they just drop something. So by this point in time, the announcement has to come pretty soon.
Yeah, I would imagine they're very close to the camera just fully getting leaked at this point. So we gotta be seeing something here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So we know, quote unquote, we know that we're gonna see an R1
flagship
camera.
Hot take. It's gonna be better than the A1.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I'm not ready to go down.
Better than the A1.
I'm not ready to go down that rabbit hole.
Sorry, Sony's.
So we know we're gonna get an R1.
Yes.
We think we're gonna get an R5 Mark II,
Yes.
which we're pretty confident on.
Pretty confident, just because the R5's pretty old.
Yep.
They've already refreshed it with the R6 Mark II.
Yep. And they both came out at the same time. I was really surprised we didn't get both those refreshed simultaneously.
I think they cannibalized each other like too much.
When
I
they
think
first came out?
when they released both.
Yeah.
I think Canon learned and was just like, we can't do both.
Yeah.
Like, we need to do like 1 and 2, because I might pick up the R5 Mark II, where if they dropped at the same time, I don't know that I would have picked up both.
Gotcha. I got you. So we're sitting on R1, R5 Mark II, and then 2 cinema cameras. Now, I have no idea what these cinema cameras could be. I would assume, with the C70 being probably their most popular cinema camera that they've released probably in a decent recent amount of time, and it already has the RF mount, I would assume we would see some type of C70 Mark II, maybe a C80 that's full frame. I know that's what you were talking about last week. But what if they just give us a C900 and they just go the complete opposite direction and they go big, full frame, big.
If they do a C700 Mark II, be so mad. And we made this camera for Hollywood or whatever. Yeah, or like a C900. Now, I'm telling you, I think it has, and fanboy, whatever. I think a C70 Mark II, or calling it a C80 or a C90, I think it has Komodo level impact.
Whoa.
Komodo level impact.
OG Komodo level impact?
OG Komodo level impact.
Okay, in the fact of mass adoption really quick.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to be better. I'm just saying that, like, give us, like the Pixis, give us the camera that we've been waiting for. Give us a full frame. Give us SDI. Give us, I mean, I'd take 4K, but it just feels like that's like a little like dated. Give us like 6K raw, and don't give us nothing else. Give us better. Or no. Take that back. Take that back right now. Give us better autofocus.
See, I feel like
do not live at those internal NDs.
I feel like that's my issue with the C70 is I feel like at the $5,000 price point, if they're gonna update that, I don't think they're staying at, what is it, $5,000, $5,500, whatever.
They could go up to 6. They could go up to 6.
I don't think you're getting SDI, full frame, and better autofocus for an extra $500. I just don't think that's
I'm saying SDI for like the cinema people.
You could care less.
No, I would love it. I fully love SDI, but if I'm being honest, I ain't got no SDI accessories, so I'm good. You can put HDMI in my C90.
He said,
give us 2 versions.
Scott says C70 in many ways is better than Komodo, but if no GS,
what is that?
Global shutter.
Oh,
it will never have Komodo impact. That's not what he said. He didn't say never, but never sounds better.
He's changing that man's words.
I'm abbreviating.
Global shutter. Global shutter. Do I care about the global shutter?
Look, I don't think that you necessarily care about the global shutter.
I'm the common man, Brandon.
I know, but I think the global shutter is what helped make the Komodo have the impact that it has.
Oh, disagree. The red name at the price point gave Komodo the impact. I will die by that, because I feel like I aspire to shoot red. Hit me up. I aspire to shoot red. So honestly, when red started creeping down, what was their like $10,000-$12,000? Was it the
Raven?
The Raven.
But that was 15.
Yeah, 15. Like when they started getting in that range, I was like, oh snap, it might be a possibility. So I feel like when red released, was it 6 or 5?
6.
6. When they released the Komodo at 6, it was like, this is attainable. Like they could have been like, it shoots 2.5K, and I wouldn't have been happy about it, but I just would have been like, man, this is attainable now. So I do think that the global shutter may have become its best asset, but I think its name on an affordable camera, I think that's what made it go through the roof. And that way, I don't think that Canon will ever reach that frenzy. But I do think for the working man, a full frame, give it to me.
You're not the only one. Facts, name, and price point.
Give me the. Now, we ain't never getting. Well, actually, new rumor.
What's this new rumor?
New rumor. Canon has developed a global shutter.
Okay, hold on.
They have.
That's not the same thing. That is not the same thing.
They have. It's facts. I didn't say with what.
Okay, you're telling the truth, but you're not telling the whole truth. So yes, in case you guys did not hear, Canon has developed a global shutter sensor, but it's not.
And within the next 10 to 15.
Oh my God.
years.
In the next 10 to 15 years, we might see it in an affordable camera.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, currently, if you look at the landscape, you have the Sony A93 global shutter. And then you have Komodo X, and Raptor X. Those are only global shutter cameras. And I would not call any of those cameras affordable. Like, I know affordable is a very broad term, but I would not call any of those cameras affordable. So even if Canon is coming out with a global shutter, I don't see that making its way into a affordable camera anytime soon. If anybody's going to probably put a global shutter in an affordable camera, I think it's going to be Sony or Nikon. Those are going to be the two. And then Canon will show up 4 or 5 years later, and then all the Canon people will be ecstatic. That's what's going to happen.
All the Apple fanboys will rejoice.
Yes, when they can finally move their apps around their screen. Look, I'm an Apple fanboy. I'm not leaving that garden. But I am not going to lie. I look around at Android. I'm like, man, that's cool. Your phone's full.
That's your problem. You got to stop looking, bro.
No, that's the solution. So if you're a Canon fanboy and you're feeling a little bit behind in your cameras, just stop looking at what everybody else is doing. That's genius. I love it.
Yeah, this is the deal. Michael said this. Rolling shutter is a feature of your camera.
What?
I changed his words.
That's as is.
Canon is selling it as a feature.
I don't think so.
It's more real to life.
I think that's the exact opposite. If you love Jello,
you didn't see if that monitor was straight when you were.
Everybody's in their house right now. That's my head.
Oh my god.
Do I see rolling shutter in real life?
Alrighty. So to recap, new RF lenses.
No.
To open up, not new RF. Oh, but they have dropped some new patents for lenses.
Yep.
So, but opening up the RF mount.
Yes.
4 brand new cameras launching in the next 1 to 2 years. Who knows? Just giving them space.
4 cameras will be launching.
Giving them some space. Giving them a lot of landing room.
Look, I'll open it up for you. Canon makes cameras. There you go.
Canon makes cameras soon. Global shutter.
No, that's not news.
That is news.
It's not news.
They made it.
You, Mr. Help the common man.
That's
never coming. You're not getting that. That's not for you.
It's gonna come.
They're putting it in industrial machines.
Yes, this is true, but there was no chance of getting it if they didn't develop it.
Okay.
It's been developed now.
Got it.
And so at least we can dream.
Dream big, bud.
And then was that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's all Canon be doing.
Okay.
And none of this showed up at NAB.
That's all.
And none of this showed up at NAB. I'm sorry.
4 cameras, opening up the mount, and global shutter.
They did a whole lot of nothing.
That's massive. They haven't done anything yet.
Exactly.
Yet.
Yeah. Just like they didn't do anything at NAB.
But when that C70 Mark II drops, when that R5 Mark II drops, I don't. The R1, I don't. I mean, depending on the price, I don't care.
Okay, so I have a question though. Would you rather get a C300 style camera? So big cinema camera. That's where where I feel like you're gonna get all your SDIs and everything that you were asking for. That's unrealistic to put into a C70. Or do you want a full frame R5C?
Full frame R5C
Mark II.
Ooh. If they figured out the battery, they will put their foot on everyone's neck.
One more caveat. I got to be able to switch between photo and video instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah.
I don't need 5 seconds and then you send out an update and
do you think if they learned, like, do you think it was laziness is such a deep word, but do you feel like they just didn't want to make a brand new menu system?
I think they missed a mark with the R5C, and I owned that camera for like almost a year, and I wanted to love that camera so much. I think they missed the mark when they didn't allow you to just shoot video in the photography side of it. I think that could have fixed that camera 100%. You could have moments where you were on the photography side and you could, because like they already have a menu system for video in
the
that
R6
OS.
does that now, and it's not quite the same, but while you're in photo mode, you can shoot video.
Right. So all I'm saying is I should be able to set that up. So if I'm taking photos and I need to instantly grab a quick clip because something's happening right in front of me, I should be able to do that. And then if I need to be like, have more full range of my settings and all that stuff, then yeah, I can switch over into cinema mode and I'll wait 3 seconds or whatever. That fix alone would have made the R5C an amazing camera because from my understanding, when I spoke with Canon about that camera, it wasn't just video killing the battery, but it was the actual operating system itself in the cinema mode that would kill that battery.
Yeah.
So like if you stayed in the photography mode, like there were multiple times where I was in the cinema mode and the battery would die. I would switch my camera into photo, turn it on, I'd have 2 notches.
Yeah.
So it was
Instant.
clearly just a software thing. And so if they could bring that, they could add that feature in. Honestly, I don't really need too much more. Just throw whatever else I guess you're throwing in the R5 too. But yeah, I think that would solve that issue 100%.
If we could get to like, I'm going to give them too much grace because I want more than 60 minutes. But if we could do 90 minutes battery, that might be too much to ask.
Out of one little Canon battery?
It might be too much. It might be too much. But if we can get 60 to 90 minutes of battery, we'll be sitting pretty.
Yeah, maybe even if it came with the grip, I'd be happy because like I bought the grip, and I went from like 20 minutes worth of battery to like 30 minutes of battery, which does make sense because I had twice the battery.
Yeah,
but I still would go from 20 to 30.
Yeah, if they could get up to that 60, I think it'd be good. Yeah, I genuinely feel like they're touting it as the first or the real hybrid. If they created a brand new menu system, oh my goodness, like a Black Magic menu system, it might be too much to ask. It might be too much, but that would be it. Like, good night, Sony.
We'll see.
And
I don't know. I don't think Sony's going anywhere. I just don't. I think Canon's got a lot of fight to go.
Oh yeah. No, I would say, well, here's the tough part. Like you said, everyone that switched. I think that we're in I feel like now more than ever, all of these people are dropping insane cameras, but they're not moving the needle anymore. Like people aren't like, oh my gosh, sell everything I have and go out and buy that camera. I just feel like right now there's a lot of cool cameras out, a lot of cool specs, but there isn't a whole lot of movement, it feels like.
So let's end on this question. And I want you guys to answer this. Have we, I feel like when it comes to smartphones, we're at peak smartphones. We're done. Like there's not too much more crazy stuff you can throw in a phone. Are we at peak camera yet? Like mirrorless camera. Are we at peak mirrorless camera?
No, but it's because they haven't done the stuff that you really want. Like give me, like the Hasselblad, give me internal SSD. Put that in a camera. Give me 2 terabytes.
You want internal that terrifies me.
Not like exclusive, like it still take cards, but give me some internal. Like I would love that. What's a feature that you would want that would like literally like get you up in the morning? That maybe isn't available in a camera yet.
That's not available at all?
Not like global shutter. Like obviously, yeah, that'd be cool, but like that's in some cameras. Or is there anything that you'd be like, oh, this would make me consider a buy?
I mean, right now, I would say anything that could like, and they're doing it. It's just that they're not like fully doing it, but like some like an easy way to like the camera to cloud thing to me is really exciting. It's just not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Like proxies and like internet and like all that stuff. It's just not simple enough yet. But like, I don't want like give me like a okay, we're dreaming, right? I want a pad that's on my desk that when I walk in, I just put my camera on it and then it transfers the raw files off my camera to my NAS drive and it charges the camera. I don't want to deal with batteries ever again. I just want to walk.
No batteries, no cables, no nothing.
I don't want any of that stuff anymore. Give me a deal. Give me a table. And I just want to walk in a room. And look, screw it. I don't even want a table. I just want to walk in my office since we're dreaming. I want to walk in my office and it realizes, oh, the camera's back. And it just sends the files and it charges all the batteries without me having to take anything out of a battery.
I already have that for you.
You got that?
The Apple Vision Pro.
Oh my gosh. Get out of here. Get out of here. Chat, what's the one thing? What's the one dream big
that they're not doing that they could do that would make you want to buy their camera?
Yeah, what's the one thing? Let us know. Pull them up. Pull them up.
Wow. What I don't understand. Oh, why do we only have dual gain ISO? Why don't we have quad gain ISO? Like,
I don't know.
Give us noise reduction flawless. Give us incredible noise reduction.
I would never want to see noise again.
At 800, at 6400, at 10,000, and at 50,000. Give it to me. Internal NDs, absolutely. An internal mic. Why is that? Is it space?
I think it's just distance to the subject. There you go. You could have AI,
but even your voice at the camera still sounds bad.
What if we had like a lav that was built into the camera? Dude, we're going off on a tangent now.
Canon's doing all this 2025.
Oh, God. I love Rob's. He says octo gain ISO. There you go. That's what you need.
Octo gain ISO. Oh, vision. I want storytelling built into my camera.
This is going to be a fully AI. I don't want a camera anymore. I just want an AI box that follows me around that just captures the world. That's it. Camera as a transformer. I like that.
If we're being honest, though, we do need a little bit of this AI magic in our cameras. That would be nice. Now, what is that?
Like, I'll tell you, like, there are times when I go out and like I'm shooting like real estate or something like that, and I'll get a shot with my, with my camera, and then I'll pull up my phone and get the same shot, and I'm like, it's gonna take a lot of work to get this shot to look like this iPhone, because the iPhone just does some processing that's just like nuts, and sometimes I just want that.
I was shooting yesterday, and it was so crazy. I was at an aquarium, and I was on my R6 Mark II, and through the glass, it looked a little milky, and not like the Canon milky, but it just looked like it wasn't. Bro, I pulled out my iPhone and man, it just looked HD.
I just want a little, like, I think we're going to get there. We're going to get a little processing on the camera, like, and just throw it in that mode. Like if auto was that, I would probably use auto more.
Yeah.
Like if auto gave me like iPhone stuff,
yeah.
I'd use auto.
Yeah. Give us some of that AI magic.
Yep. All right. You ready for the next step?
Absolutely.
Let's run it. What we got?
When you said I was ready, correction, I was going to, hey, audience, guess what? We're going to play a game. We always play a game, but this game, we're going to need your hot takes, okay?
Oh, okay.
We're going to need your hot takes. And Brandon, of course, we're going to need your hot takes. But let's run our bougie intro.
Let's run it.
All righty, we're going to play a game of underrated, overrated. And so we're going to bring up a handful of different topics. And in the chat, we want to know, do you guys think that this is a major thing? Do you think that this is a minor thing? We want to know, you think it's underrated, overrated? And so we're going to start off actually pretty easy because I feel like there has been a whole lot of talk on anamorphics lately, a whole bunch of videos dropping, but I want to know from Brandon. I already know what Brandon's going to say, but I want to know what the chat's going to say when we pull up this topic. Now let me get this rolling.
Also, when you type in, if you think the thing is overrated or underrated, be sure to put what the thing is. So like in this case, oh dude, of course you know what I'm gonna say on this, but you'd say Blazar and then you would actually put overrated or put underrated. So I want to know, chat,
let us know,
what do you think?
What do you think, Brandon? Underrated, overrated? This set is $2,500. That's part of the
So these are the Blazar Remus. I personally think that they are underrated, but I have a fear that in 6 months, all anamorphic lenses are going to be overrated.
Through their overuse?
Through their overuse. I think that it is going to be a quick way to... You remember how like when everything was done in slow motion because it was quote unquote cinematic?
Peter McKinnon.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. But
what did he call it? What B-roll?
Cinematic B-roll?
Yeah.
Coffee B-roll?
Yeah.
But I do feel like I'm a little nervous that this will become a huge trend. But as of right now, today, I think that these lenses are incredibly underrated. Also, they're incredibly impossible to get your hands on. So, Blazar, please, I'm buying them. Just figure out how to get them to me before the end of May or June or whenever they're coming out.
Larry D says overrated.
Okay.
Overrated.
That's one person.
Shots fired.
Brandon, what did he say? Brandon works at Brandon wants that AI magic anamorphic button. So that would be nice.
I recently watched Cam Mackey's Blazar, and I think it was the 2 times. And he had a love you, Cam Mackey. There's just a few things that seem like weren't ready to fully release that video, like didn't have everything that you needed for the camera. What I loved about them is the flares looked incredible. The image looked really good. It has so much characteristic that it does feel like if you're using it for everything, that is not the lenses for you.
Yeah. No. I think I don't think anybody should buy anamorphic lenses as their everyday lenses.
Yes.
You need some sharp, clinical, spherical lenses to do 80% of the work. So that way, when you drop something where you're using these lenses, that 20% looks special.
Yeah.
But that's my fear. Is I feel like people are going to pick these up and try to shoot everything on them. And it's going to be interesting.
It's gonna be too much.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be too much. All right,
they look incredible. All right, so I'm gonna say for the price, underrated. $2,500 for 3 lenses that look that good. Yeah. All right, next one.
Oh,
the Burano. So if you guys were here last week, this won the best in tech for 2024 NAB. But I want to know I want to know from Brandon, does he agree with NAB? Is this the best in tech? Underrated, overrated?
I think the Burano's overrated.
Wow.
I think it's a little overrated.
Okay.
Only because they already have an FX9 and they already have the Venice and Venice 2. It does sit pretty in the middle, but I think it's just a little overrated. I don't know. I just feel like it's a little overrated.
Rob, I feel like I've watched your video on this. How is it definitively better than the FX9? How is it like I know the housing is different, but I just want to know like how much different, because this is where it's tough, because I'm like, if the Burano was FX9 money,
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Buy today. Not really. But
I was gonna say, you buying?
But at its price point, like it kind of felt like you said like the image wasn't like that much better. I don't know. It's
Hey,
so
look,
tough. It's tough.
I'm not alone out here.
Overrated.
We got a few.
Well, because the chat's full of Canon fanboys.
No, they're not.
Unite.
No, get out of here.
Unite.
Brado, overrated for the price. Thank you, guys. All right,
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Next.
100%. 25K is too much. All right.
I know why you put this on here.
So I don't clip me.
Oh, we're gonna clip you.
Don't clip me. Is it safe to say that the Sony A93 is the new Vision Pro?
Oh my god.
Hot take. Hot take. Take a.
I think the A93 is, I'm gonna say it's underrated. Because I don't think anybody's pushing it up. So it's gotta be under. Like, you can't call it overrated because nobody's hyping it up.
Yeah. The Sony A93 is an industry plant.
I think it is a great first step at global shutter. It's just not what we need right now.
Yeah, its price point is so close.
It's $500 less than the A1.
It's so close to the A1. And while it does magical things,
there's some drawbacks. There's some pretty
the
serious
image
drawbacks.
quality doesn't seem like it's, I don't know. It's tough. Like I love Canon, but I'm not like a hater of other camera brands. I just don't. Nobody's using that Who uses that camera?
So Scott says A9 overrated for film, underrated for sports photos. I'm gonna just take Scott's approach. I like I said, I think it's underrated because not a lot of people are using it. And what I saw from what it can do in the sports world, like just the flash world alone, like being able to like have, flash sync at any speed, amazing. But yeah, I think it's overrated for most
I just need to see that mass adoption. I need to see it.
I don't think it is.
I need to see it because I don't know that people are
Oh
going
my
to do
gosh. Kevin says, wait, there's an A93. I think, okay.
Sony has left the chat.
Yeah, Sony. Sorry. Bye, Sony.
The chat is left.
It was, y'all have other good stuff.
Yes.
All right, next one.
Not the Brano. The Nikon Red merger is official as of last week. But the question is it underrated or is it overrated? Considering all of the news going on about it, like, man, it felt like everybody overnight became a fanboy. I'm not going to say which company, but this became a fanboy. Is it underrated? Is it overrated? What do you think?
I am going to say, you're not going to like it. I think it's properly rated.
Properly rated.
I think it is properly rated. And the only reason is because everybody is excited or fearful, but about nothing. Like, no one knows anything.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what this means. If this meant like Red Raw in a Nikon, like if they were like, we bought Red, we're putting R3D inside the Z8, that would mean something. You know what I mean? Or if like Red was like, we have better manufacturing because we're owned by Nikon now. Komodo X just got the price slashed by 15% or whatever permanently. Like, that would mean something. We don't know anything.
Yeah.
We're all speculating. We're all excited. So, I mean, what this could mean, I think it could mean the world, but it could also mean nothing. Like, they have the robots and that doesn't really interfere whatsoever. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen here, but I will say that I'm excited of the possibility, but no one knows anything.
Yeah.
So I think wherever you sit, you're kind of like properly rated.
Wow, there's a lot of people here. Underrated. Man, you built this channel up. You know what? As a patient Canon man myself, I've heard 2 to 3 years before we might even see any sort of, if there even if there is plans to create some sort of collaboration, it would be a minimum of 2 to 3 years. So that makes sense.
Yeah, see, I think I'm in the same boat with Kevin. I just can't wait to see what comes from the merger.
Because like you said with the robots, like it's not like Nikon started making Nikon robots.
Right.
They just kind of were like, hey, you do you.
We'll see.
Will Red just be like their cinema division?
I don't know.
Will they share?
I'm
Will they
okay
even
with
share?
that. I just want to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm reserving judgment.
Yeah.
Till I know for sure what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
it could be, it could be to the moon and back. Who knows? So yeah, I agree with you on the properly rated. All righty. You ready for this?
Yeah. Canon global shutter. Oh god. It's overrated. It's overrated.
How can it be overrated?
It's overrated.
Just happened.
It's overrated because of you.
Hold on. We need to rewind the
100%.
tapes. We need to rewind the
based off
tapes.
of
What was your prediction for 2024?
This doesn't say global shutter. It says Canon's global shutter. But you are right. At the beginning of the year, we can pull it back up at some point. At the beginning of the year, I said that global shutter would take off this year. I felt like it was one of the pieces of tech that was gonna scream.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, just because Canon made it, doesn't mean that they're actually gonna do anything with it.
No. I don't. I think if the thought is they're gonna do something like this year, then it's overrated. Yeah, that sort of deal. But I think your prediction is true. There's a reason why this leaked. There's a reason, like not in the sense that they're coming like with an event.
I don't think this was a leak. This is official. There's like a video where they actually explained the benefits of global shutter and all that fun stuff.
That was the wrong deal, but like the wrong wording. But I feel like Canon wants people to know that they're in the global shutter party, that they're not like, unlike the mirrorless days where people are coming out with mirrorless cameras and it's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Nothing. I feel like it's a part of its announcement is letting the world know we have a Tesseract.
Okay, so here's my pushback to you. When Canon was behind the rat race in the mirrorless game, they were behind, vastly behind. They at least came to the party with a Canon R.
Okay.
This time they're not even coming to the party with a camera. They're just literally showing us a sensor.
Yet.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
That's it.
I've said what I've said.
That's it.
I said what I said.
That's it. We want to know what you guys think in the chat. Are you guys excited about the possibilities of the shutter? Or are you thinking, here's the deal. Like, I don't.
Maybe they announced it to sell it. Maybe we'll start seeing Canon global shutter sensors showing up in some other brands too.
I got to be honest. I'm going to stick to my original guns before. I think global shutter would be really cool to have if they dropped it in a camera. I don't know that I'm immediately going out to buy it. I think if what I started to shoot began to change, I would think about it.
I don't know, man. You shoot on global shutter enough, it's hard not to. There's a different look. The motion, everything is different. It's different, man.
That's your problem.
Hey, look.
That's your problem.
Look, once you ring the bell, you can't unring it. I've seen it.
I've seen it. You gotta stop looking at stuff.
Man, that's what I do. That's why I love doing this. I do this just because I love this thing, man. I gotta see what else is out there. That's my whole goal is like I always want to push the envelope because the more you know, the more you can create. Right.
Oh yeah.
So like even I don't know if you guys saw this over on my Instagram, but we're actually working on a little short film right now. And it was like 2 years ago, way before I would even imagine I'd be able to get onto a set that had an LED wall. I was at NAB and I was just like soaking it all in, just saying like, oh my gosh, I got to get on this LED wall. I got to figure this out. That was technology that was like way ahead of my time.
Yeah.
But just this past weekend, finally got a chance to shoot like an act. Like, I mean, I've done some other projects, but nothing like this.
Yeah.
Where actually I'm working in like the film space, making a short and we're using an LED wall for it. Like, that's me adopting it ahead of time. Like I had to learn about it, knowing that it was coming. I'm telling you, man, global shutter is one of those things that even if you don't see yourself adopting it right now, if you start shooting on it and you take those blinders off and you actually look at it, you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. That doesn't mean you have to go adopt it right then and there.
Oh,
Lord knows,
for sure.
I'm not finna buy an LED wall.
For sure.
Not right now. I need Cam Mackey and Justin Porter to show back up on my show and drop some more super chat.
If it depends who drops first. If the C70 Mark II drops, they're gonna have my money. But if they don't drop, then the Komodo X will have my money. It'll have my money. So
we'll see.
Just saying, Canon, it's all you. The ball's in your court.
Komodo X is already here.
It is already here. Well, it's the money. It's the money.
All good.
Oh man.
Anybody? What are the last? Let's go to the chat for just a bit, and we'll.
When was the last release of a Canon? It was the C70, Larry.
No.
What's their last cinema?
For real?
4 years ago. Because like when I think about it, like what,
bro?
We're not really counting the R5C, right?
You Canon fanboys are patient.
You want to know why though? That image. The image will keep you well fed.
I'm gonna go out on Scott. Komodo X is so good. It is.
Yeah,
it is really good. Oh, you know what? I think Travis is right. I think it was the R5C.
It's a hybrid though.
Oh, so you don't count it?
Yeah, I don't know that I count it.
It's a half a cinema camera.
But no, you're right. The R5C came out before, but like I promise you, if you go to a Canon party and you're like, here's my cinema camera, guys, they're gonna look at you like, eh. I feel like that way cute. About all the C300 and C500 users. They'll just kind of look at you. They even do that with my C70. Nice toy.
Oh man. But guys, let us know down in the chat. What are your thoughts? Let's quickly last status on the poll. Where we at?
Oh, well, I'm only gonna tell you if we're above 50. I'm gonna vote first. I didn't even need to vote. I'm rounding up to 60%.
So it's 58.
56%.
50. You gonna round up 4
anything
points?
over 5.
Oh my gosh.
56% of the chat is excited about the rumors in the news.
You're welcome. That's because I put Canon in the
29% is not excited. But hey, even hate, it puts the stream out even further. So we're glad that you're here. And jump ship only 15%.
That's good.
That's out of 89 votes.
It's not a lot of votes.
That's not well, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Well, chat, thank you guys so much for tuning in for another episode of Uncensored. Before you guys get out of here, do us a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Also,
my man, Larry, I heard all the news and he was like, not excited anymore. We de-excited that man.
He was like, I'm out. No, I mean, we got realistic about it. But yeah, hit that thumbs up on the way out. And if you haven't, by any chance, hit that subscribe button yet, you absolutely should. So that way you're notified every time we go live and when we release new videos. And as I mentioned, I got a short film that'll be coming out really soon. So I'm excited about that. But thank you guys so much for checking out this episode of Uncensored. And we will catch you guys next week. Peace.